This video review is being brought to you by PrimeToys.net. PrimeToys.net, where you can get your collector grade toys at not the collector grade prices. PrimeToys.net. And I'm a reviewer, so let the reviews be joined. Hey guys, this is your friend Dinobot here once again with you. And as you can see today, we're going to look at Transformers Robots in Disguise, the 2015 version, Warrior Class Drift. Now, if you've been keeping up with the series as of late in the Transformers community, we've had basically a new cartoon series that was released called Transformers Robots in Disguise, which is a continuation basically of Transformers Prime. If you've been watching it, they brought Drift into it again as a character. If you watch the Age of Extinction movie, Drift was kind of a samurai warrior in that, and this one he basically is too. Granted, in the IDW comics of the previously known as Robots in Disguise series, we have a Drift character, or in The Morning Meets the Eye also, we have a Drift character where he's basically a sports car as well. He's kind of a samurai type character, but he's a different type of Drift. This one is completely different. He's completely I won't say opposite, but different, a little bit different from him. But as you can see, that Drift was white, and is basically a white character. Not to sound bad on that, but this one he's orange. He's got an orange body. He's still a sports car like in the RID series, or in the comic series, excuse me. But he's not bad at all. If you look at in his paint job, I'm not sure also what kind of car this is supposed to be, but it's still a nice little sports car, kind of futuristic looking. He's got great detail work on him still, being basically a warrior class figure. And this one we'll get into a little bit more, just a little bit more here in a little bit once I get him transformed. Just how different in size he is to the regular deluxes. But he's still not too bad. As you can see, he's basically orange. He's got a lot of black all around him. He's got some red bits here. Even got a nice little horde ornament, which is basically the helmet insignia that he wears, basically on the front end of his car, which is real nice that they added that onto it. And it's very, very nice all around. You have of course, these rubber, not really rubber or plastic wheels. But if you flip it over, you can actually, as you can see here, it actually is kind of clear through it. So as you can see, my finger kind of showing up on the other side, which is pretty nice. But it also shows that it's kind of real thin plastic on that. I've always kind of, when I first saw this series was coming out, I kind of figured this was going to be like and from what I saw the series, it looked like more of like the Rescue Bot series, just a little bit upgraded from it. And it still kind of get that vibe from them. These guys got real simple transformations, but they're still not too bad figures at all. We'll set him down for just a moment, and we'll bring in what he has for his accessories, which, being a samurai, he has two swords. He has his full-size katana, and then he has a smaller version. I can never remember what this one's supposed to be called. It's still pretty cool. Very nice detail work on both of them. Basically, they are basically the same exact type of sword. It's just one, they're the same, different sizes is all it is. But as you can look, you can tell from the sizes and everything, they're basically the exact same. Just one's bigger. There's no real difference between them other than the size, of course. But we'll set these aside, and I'll show you how we can transform this guy into his robot mode, which again isn't very hard at all. Starting off, I found the easiest way is to pull the whole basically upper section of the windshield and the roof and everything. Just pull this up, and you slide these down. As you can see, it's on this hinge here. You can go ahead and roll them all the way down, because this is basically going to become his heels for his legs. I do this to basically free up all this here to help loosen it. You will then pull right here on the side of the doors. You'll pull these panels or the whole section. It's actually his arms, as you can see. You'll then reach up here to the front part of his hood, front end of his engine block. You can also, almost forgot, unpeg these here just to loosen them up there as well. Loosen this here. I'm actually going to go ahead and do it this way instead of doing it the other way. But you'll rotate, you can grab back here on the back wheels, turn it, rotating it at basically at the waist area, and basically straighten them out. You can then go ahead and flip these pieces down, which are kind of stiff on mine, but that's still pretty good, which of course are becoming his feet. Do it on this side. You can then go ahead and pull right here, basically pulling his legs apart. You can go ahead and straighten out his arms up here. Let me raise this up just a hair. Then, like I said here, you grab this section here, and you're going to flip it back like so. And then this basically the hood of the car basically just flips down and covers into his chest plate. And here is drift and robot mode. Again, like I said, not very difficult transformation at all. Very simple, which is fine because I fear they geared this more towards the younger crowd, not as collectors in that. But still, it's not bad. I mean, it's not a hard transformation. It's not a very, very simple like the rescue bots are, where it's just basically you flip them right open in their robot mode. But all in all, he's not bad. Of course, you have all of his detail work on him. You have, before we place his weapons, I'll show you some stuff with the weaponry here on him. Let's look into his articulation. His head is on a little bit of a joint back there, but because of these panels here on the sides of his shoulders and the size of his head, he can't like really turn his head too far. That's about as much as you're going to get in a swivel, just turning left and right. There's no up and down movement to them. The arms, of course, they can rotate all the way around. They are not on a ball joint here at all. That's the only thing about this guy. His joints are none of his joints are ball joints, except for right here in his hips, which I'll get into more here in a minute. But as you can see, this is just like a hinge joint here for the shoulder, another little peg joint here for the arm and stuff. But it's not bad because you can still rotate it around. At the shoulder, you can rotate it here right above the elbow. And you do have the elbow articulation like so. It is, if you want to bend it back a little bit, it's kind of hindered because of the wheel and the panel here. But it's not that bad. And you also have this little bit right here for his hands, where you can basically swivel them inward like so if you want to. You can actually, one little motion you can do, as I'll show it off here in a minute, is with this. But we'll look at that again here in a moment. I'll raise these arms up here because he does have, of course, this swivel right, not basically in his midsection, it's basically where it's at for his swivel, mostly for his transformation. Again, with his legs are the only things on a ball joint. I'm going to move these flaps here that covers that up, which is still pretty cool because it's basically like the samurai armor basically for his legs. As you can see, it is on a ball joint. It does raise and all, can do this, whatnot. He does have the swivel right here, right above the knee joint area, where you can swivel that around like so, which I swivel that a little bit too much there. Let's straighten that out. And as you can see, it is on a ball joint, so I popped it right off there. Swivel this back around. He does have the knee articulation there. And he doesn't really have any ankle articulation unless you want to use the transformation switch, where you can do, you can get some pretty good movement still with it by doing it like so if you really want to. It does kind of weigh them to that side, as you can see, but you can probably do some good poses if you work with it. Straighten that back out. Then we'll flip his panel back down. And that's basically all of his articulation. Now, with his weaponry, it does have a pretty cool little gimmick here for it. Oh, come on, straighten that back up. I didn't get it all the way straight. There we go. I'm going to raise his arm here out of the way. You can take his swords, and place them. That's what these little slots are for, where you can take them and actually stick them just like you would see on a normal samurai, like so. And then you take the small one and put it in there like so. It's not bad at all. Nice little look for them. Gives them that samurai look, which you can, with the swivel and stuff, with it being like this, as I showed you earlier with the hand swivel, you can actually work with it, where you can actually have his hands kind of basically like he's sitting, got his hand on it. It doesn't fit perfectly, but it's still, you can put in a pretty good pose, like him putting his hand on his katana like so. You can even, I've even had it in pose like this. If you want to, you can give him a little bit of swivel, like he's getting ready to draw it or something like that. If you want, it's not too bad. I mean, you can come up with some pretty ingenious ways to work with this. You can't quite get it, like you can almost just a bit more. Come on, well, if you work with it like a little bit, if you like pull the blade out just a little bit, you can kind of get him where he can, if I can, there we go, get his hand in on it like he's going to pull it out, but he can't quite hold it enough to pull it out on his own without of course your help. But if you do like so, you can get him to draw it out like so. Though I think he just did, he popped it out of his hand, but you can come up with some pretty nice little poses for them and everything. You could have them, I'm just going to do it like so, just to give them a little bit. And look, see, that's pretty cool. I do like some of these poses you can get with them, like this. I mean, this is kind of how I have mine displayed. When I have them up on display, I like having them kind of in a stance, like he's drawing his sword, or he's getting ready to, or something like that, or he's like he already got it out. But it's not a bad little character at all. It's not a bad figure in any sort. I'm going to bring in a couple other figures of the deluxe size so you can see. As I said, this is warrior class, so it is, as you can see here, standing next to Waspinator from the Generations line that we just recently, from the last year or so, we got. He is just a hair taller than Wasp, but this Waspinator is not, exactly the. Pardon my hand, I'm trying to get Wasp to stand up straight here. He wants to lean back. He's just a hair taller than Wasp. And then I'm going to bring in Off-Road here, which Off-Road does stand just of course, Off-Road from the Combiner Wars. Just, as you can see, he does stand a little bit taller. Not by much. I mean, it's not bad. The warrior class for the Robots in Disguise isn't bad at all. But as you can see, the size comparison, he does work pretty well with them. I do kind of wish he was just a hair bit taller, just to kind of go in with like here with Off-Road. I think if they'd done that, they could have gotten a little bit more articulation out of him. But I mean, it's fine this way. Also, the only other thing I kind of wish these panels here on his forearms, that you could probably, I don't want to say fold them up, but kind of do something with them. But you gotta, it is what it is. It's not too bad because you can work with it. You can actually, if you want to pretend with it, you can actually say these panels are he could use this, bring his forearm up and use that as like a shield to block an attack or whatnot if you really wanted to. But considering this guy, if you've seen my previous review of him was the Minicon launcher, he does not stand too well with that. That guy should have been bigger. And this guy bringing that they're trying to bring him out to, bring it out with the rest of the line isn't bad. So I do recommend picking this one up more over the Minicon Deployer one. I think it looks great. I love the way this works. I think it looks really cool. But, if you want to pick this guy up, sadly, I have to admit that PrimeToys.net does not have this one listed right now. He has messaged me that they are currently in the works of doing an upgrade to their website. And I'm not sure exactly when or how soon that's going to be. So be on the watch out for that. He will bring up a new version of his website, and he'll have a whole new listings and whatnot. I'm not positive if he'll have this guy on there, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm just one of the ones that, like you guys, I'll have to wait and see what he's going to list up on there. But if you want to pick this guy up, feel free to check your local stores and check anywhere else. But you can also go to primetoys.net for other great needs. You can go on there, when you pick up some figures, you got them in your shopping cart, there's a little bar at the bottom for a coupon code. Type in the code Transmission September through only this month, which only got a couple days left, and you can get 10% off your order, which is great. And what does Transmission September represent? Transmission September represents the fellow sponsored Transmissions podcast that if you haven't listened to them, I do highly recommend you checking them out. I will post links to them below, and the Prime Toys, of course. Check them out. They're a great group of guys. They talk anything and everything Transformers. They talk comic books, toys, pop culture news, anything and everything. They're cool to listen to. They work real well together. They have a great camaraderie and everything. I highly recommend listening to them. But that's going to be it for this video, guys, and this is going to be Donbot saying, as always, please comment, like, and share this video. If you haven't done so, please subscribe, and I'll post links to my Twitter, my Gmail, and my Instagram, where you guys can follow me and email me down there, and I hope you do. And this is Donbot saying, thanks y'all for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.